The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Is brought to you by Lloyd's Construction and Consulting, providing first-class construction services on 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it. All right, sports concepts and rationalizations coming your way right now, and we do it each and every day. We call it the 10-minute drill. Well, we don't do it on Tuesdays, but that's okay. But I know this.
Tuesdays are special occasions, Dan. You know that.
But I know this. At the end of this deal,
yes,
we hand out a little prize. And what are we handing out today, Beef? Oh, yeah. You need moving.
I love it when Dan sings. He gets into that Robert Plant range.
You need cooling, baby, I'm not fooling.
Yeah, we're getting the let out, Dan.
I'm gonna say yeah.
We're talking next Friday night, Dan.
Man,
We're a week out.
I might go.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am high. That's March 12th. I can't read. I've been getting the let out
But
all
it's
week.
coming, baby.
Been going hard. in the
Yeah,
paint.
you have.
Cranking it up, put it on my vinyl, and just go. Classic Albums Live, Friday, March 12th, 8 p.m. at the Florida Theater. They're doing Zep 2.
What a dirty song this is.
It is. This is the opening track off this. It's a great record, Dan.
Song's dirty, man.
I want a whole lot of
Anyone
love.
actually listening to the music to this thing? Lyrically?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Nice.
Well, he says you need coolant. He's
Well,
helping her
yeah.
with her cars.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
I'm
You need
telling
coolant.
Yeah, just read those
Maybe
lyrics,
I'm not
buddy.
fooling.
Yeah, I'm not fooling.
Trying to help her fix her car. She needs coolant, Jeff.
Yeah. Apparently the front door's not the only one that needs a little work either.
Jeff Prosser is a tool in.
Ah.
See, get it? See what I did there?
I like that.
Not funny at all.
No?
It's a beautiful rhyme.
All right,
man.
so Telvin Smith yesterday sent out a cryptic tweet. He hasn't tweeted anything since October 2019, and then tweeted yesterday.
Like he's liked a few tweets, but he has not
What did he
himself
say?
said anything.
It's time. Is that what he did? It's time.
That I think it's time.
Yeah, I think it's time. I don't know what that.
Time for what?
Time for me to fly.
Yeah.
Listen, Telvin was an undersized linebacker who I would, if I had to guess right now, probably weighs 180 pounds.
Missed 2 years.
He's been in terrible legal. This to me reeks of a guy whose money is run out, and now wants to, approach. And we tried to say this when it happened. Too many people, thought we were being mean-spirited about it. You're a 27-year-old man. Let's stop and let's think a little bit what we're doing here.
Now, let's not turn away these millions of dollars that you will
Correct.
earn and set yourself up and your family up for life. And now, but if you maintain that lifestyle, that money will go fast. And we don't know that it's gone. Maybe he's set them up in mutual funds, but clearly he's had some off-field issues.
Well,
so
I'm putting it mildly. I don't know what the latest
there's so much
result is.
There might be a book right now that he has to page through before he would even think about playing in the National Football League again.
He would have to cross a lot of hurdles, and the league itself would undoubtedly suspend
And while I
him.
suspect Herbs would be open to anyone who can help this team win,
I don't know if he can help you win anymore.
Well, that's one thing. And I also suspect that there are some others who remain, like the owner, who probably isn't real thrilled and willing to bring someone
I
back.
do think
like
that if Telvin Smith is able, and look, again, if you grow through correct, he's a young person, mid-20s, late 20s, you do stupid things at that age. If he can grow through that and be better and try and make good on a lot of mistakes that he made.
But like we
it
said,
won't be here though. He will not play here. No way.
Yeah, I don't think so. At the time, that's fine. But there was the NFL would be the best place for you if you're troubled.
I hear you.
Let me take you to a story that I read yesterday that shook me up and made me sad. Did you guys see, or an E60 did it too, on this kid, this Drew Robinson kid?
I didn't watch the E60, but I read
You read it?
Jeff Passan's article.
Oh,
That's a hard read, man.
It's a hard read, but I think there's some importance in there. And Drew Robinson was a really good high school baseball player, Pross. His brother played professionally, older brother, looked up to him. Family, got divorced. He and his brother went to live with his dad. His sister went to live with the mom.
No one was really close.
Nobody, not a lot of communication. But nonetheless, for a lot of reasons, family's just like us. But he was gifted in baseball, and he could really play. And he was a third-round pick, Beef?
Fourth-round pick.
Fourth-round pick. That's
of the Rangers.
Of the Texas Rangers, about a $200,000 deal. I mean, you come out of high school and you're picked in the fourth round, Jeff. What kind of baseball player are you?
A good player.
You're a really good player, man. I mean, again, and he worked his way through 4 or 5 years, right? Beef?
Yeah,
To the
years and
major
years.
leagues.
But worked his way up.
He got to the major leagues, and then he became sort of the up-down guy.
Yeah.
You know, up for 3 games, down back to AAA. Up for 7 games, down
What
back.
organization?
Well, it was Texas.
And then St. Louis.
Then St. Louis. Traded to St. Louis.
What's his first name
Continued to
again?
be the
Brent Robinson?
Drew
Robinson.
continued to be up-down guy.
Up-down guy. He's got
Like-
to be 26, 27,
For a
right?
brief period, thought maybe it'd stick, but it just never
But
never
hit a
happened.
big, listen, he hit a big league home run. I mean, that's, how many people hit big league home runs in this world, right? That's fantastic. That should be celebrated. He didn't handle it that way. He felt the pressures of the game, I think is fair to say, right, Beef? We don't know what demons he had inside himself. But anyway, so COVID hits last March, and he's back in Vegas, and there's no baseball. There's nothing for him, and he's
not at their remote site. He didn't.
No,
make the
he's not
cut.
in the big leagues, so he's not playing. There's no minor league
Well,
baseball.
they
So he
increased
just shut
it, so they
down.
did have their remote facilities, but he didn't.
Right.
They would go up and down from
Right,
it. He's
right.
not at that level.
No. So the overwhelmed with
Right.
depression.
He probably was always overwhelmed with it, but had baseball
Yes.
as a diversion.
Yes,
So without that,
yeah,
you're just swimming.
makes up his mind he's going to kill himself. I'm going to kill myself, and writes the letter. Was going to go drive somewhere and kill himself. Then decided I don't want to die in my truck. I'm going to come back, do it in the house. Writes the letter, drinks a couple shots of whiskey, but doesn't want to keep drinking because he doesn't want people to think it's an alcohol problem, because it's not. Reaches for the gun, puts it up to his temple, pulls the trigger, boom, blows himself in the head, goes into his eye, out through his eye, and unbelievably doesn't kill him.
Good Lord.
Not only does it kill him, but it's like he woke up and he's like
Why am I here?
roamed
Where am
around
I?
like dazed and uncertain for like 24 hours.
24 hours. He tries to take a shower because there's blood everywhere. He's
Good
falling
God.
down. He's disoriented, and it comes
Yeah, I
back.
would think if you
And it
shoot
seemed like
yourself
a
in the head, a disorientation would be the.
Yeah,
A lot of that period, it's like he was just waiting to
die.
die from it.
Yeah, he's expecting to die, but he's not dying. So it comes down to the next day. He wakes up and he says, "Well, I guess I'll do it again." He gets the gun, and then he's thinking about things, and then he says to himself, "Why am I thinking about things in the future?" And he has a phone and a gun in his hand. He's got 911. He hits 911. He tells the police he shot himself yesterday. The 911 person sends him on they think there's something terrible going on
Right.
there. Like, who shoots
They
yourself
think it's
and
a
lives?
setup.
Yeah. So there's a problem. Could be an ambush, So the cops break down the door, and there's video of this, right? And they grab the kid, and he's pool of blood everywhere. Long story, even longer, but he lives, and he's decided now, God bless him, that, you know what? I'm here for a reason. I got to tell my story. And the thing that, and we go back to this about mental health all the time. His girlfriend didn't know. His mom didn't know. His dad didn't know. His brother didn't know. His sister didn't know. The 5 people closest to him had no idea he was battling with mental health, which, again, brings us to the PSA.
It usually manifests itself in drug use
Correct.
or something like that.
Which brings us to the PSA that we always say at this time, but I say it over and
Get
over
help.
again. I said it to the kids. We talked
Tell-
about it
tell
last night
someone.
in class. Dude, if you're struggling at all,
Yeah.
it's okay to talk to people.
The best thing he said in that whole piece
Uh-huh.
was that if you feel like you're in a place and no one wants to hear it,
Right.
no one wants to help,
Yeah,
you got to understand you're so wrong.
you're wrong.
Like everyone wants to help.
Correct. And we'll drop everything
We'll
to
drop
help.
everything at a dime
100%.
and help
And
you.
it's okay. It's not.
No one even thinks you're
You're
weak
not
for it anymore.
No, you're
There
not.
was a time in society where maybe that would have been a deterrent, that
But
you
it
would
sh-
have been viewed as weak, but
but
it's
it-
not viewed that way.
As parents, and by the way, the mental health numbers were in that story, and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
not pretty. And we
No.
talked about that, with the COVID, and that's part of the issue in dealing with the young people and being in lockdown and not being able to get out and socialize, et cetera, et cetera. It makes life tougher. And so, but as parents, it shakes you up, and you don't know where the pressures were coming from him. But the amazing thing is now the guy lost his eye, and he's actually hitting baseballs again, thinking about
hitting dingers, man.
trying to come back. So God bless him.
Boy, it seems like that would be impossible with one eye because
Only
they talk
one-
about the depth perception.
In the history of baseball, there's been one-eyed player.
Huh.
And they referred to him. I think he might have been a pitcher, Beef, if I'm not mistaken in that story, but I'm not sure. But anyway,
There's been a lot of talk to it after that. Minor league instructors, guys who work with these dudes as they're trying to work their way through.
Uh-huh.
There just needs to be a bit of a referendum in that system of making these services accessible to these guys because you're taking 18-year-old kids and you're throwing them in the deep end.
And that's one of the things. He was drafted at 18 out of high school, which you think is a wonderful thing, but they sent him off to Surprise, Arizona by himself, and he doesn't know what to do.
And it's dog-eat-dog, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's tough for an 18-year-old. That's why.
I mean, you're all in it together, but these guys are all trying to survive too.
Correct. So it was, and the other part of the happy ending, if there is a happy ending, and hopefully there will be, and it's so far so good, and he's faced his depression straight on. Like he started to have another bout of depression, but this time he called people. Good. But he spoke to the San Francisco Giants team, and Gabe Kapler called him, and the organization wants him to be a part of the organization. So I think he's working with the Giants and working towards, if there's ever any chance he could play again,
that's good.
He's trying. But
obviously, it's a long shot.
In other words, that's a story of redemption, in that case, from mental illness. Telvin's redemption, if there was any, whether it's mental or not, manifested itself criminally. So he'll have to deal with that as well. And the NFL's not going to say, okay, boom, here, rubber stamp, you're back, see you on Sunday.
No.
He's going to face, Telvin Smith was arrested for, underage sex. The NFL's not going to just look the other way. That would bring a penalty in and of itself. I did have on the text line, we're a small town. People run into people.
Yeah.
I guess the word on those that have run into Telvin is he's in BSH shape.
Okay.
In really good shape. So what that means or whether that would matter. I get. Now, I would say this. If there is any comeback attempt for Telvin, again, if you missed it, Telvin Smith, for the first time in over a year, sent out some cryptic social media messages yesterday, basically insinuating that he wants to come back and play. It would start, though, with Jacksonville. As far as I know, they still have his rights on the reserve retired list.
I would think he's on the list.
So it would start there, and the Jags would have to make the decision to release him, which I think they would. And, again, but Dan makes a point. If they bring Telvin Smith in and they talk to him and he's in great shape and they think he'll help the football team, I don't think Urban would be first to giving him another chance. Yeah. But, again, those are a lot of ifs, so.
A lot of ifs.
Not to
mention, who knows what the money situation is. I don't know where it would go contract-wise, et cetera. So there's a lot to discuss.
I have a suggestion that you may or may not agree with.
All right.
Who has, as we sit here 3 days before the game, if you had to say one player feels the most pressure about this week's Super Bowl, who would that be?
One player who feels the most pressure.
Who's one player that would feel the most pressure?
Neither quarterback.
Right, they're both good enough. It's just a game for them. It's an exciting opportunity. It's not pressure. I would agree with that. It's not him.
Gosh, who feels I think there's pressure for different reasons for different guys, but is there one player
Do you know who Carlton Davis is?
He's a corner.
Yeah. He's a corner that gave up 13 catches for 269 yards and 3 touchdowns to Tyreek Hill the last time these two teams played. I would think if there is one player who is more nervous than any other, because it's not just that you were burned by Tyreek Hill, but it's a big story now this week. I promise you, Super Bowl Sunday, the whole first quarter is going to revisit Tyreek Hill beating this guy like a drum for most of that afternoon in Tampa. So I think if there's look, there's pressure on everyone. Everyone wants to play well, but he played so poorly last time.
Yeah.
And he's promising to play better this time.
Yeah.
So he's adding pressure to himself and just obsessing over the fact that he's got to do right
the Bucs
by what he did last time.
Young defensive backfield. Two things. They were better against Green Bay than they were obviously against. They've gotten better through the season. One of the reasons they've gotten better, those two defensive ends are wreaking havoc. But there was a moment in the Green Bay game where Aaron Rodgers, the MVP, the best quarterback in the NFL, had 3 shots on 1st and goal and could not get the ball into the end zone. So they made plays, they covered, and Devontae Adams is one great receiver, maybe the best in the NFL. So. I believe I believe they will be better, and I wonder if one of the things I'm wondering, and I'm sort of starting to lean towards the Bucs in this game, and I don't know. There's a few reasons why, but I'm starting to lean towards the Bucs and maybe picking the Bucs, and I'll probably be wrong, but because it's I've been wrong all year, but I feel like they got a better defense, and I think those young guys will be better, and I wonder if. One of the things that Romo has taught me is that one of Kansas City's bread and butter plays is is the cheetah on the left side or the right side, and he goes across the field. He just sprints.
Yeah, and they can't keep up with him.
They can't keep up with him. He runs across the field with his speed. And
if you're playing against the Rams, after the play, Jalen is waving his arms around, blaming everyone.
But if you're playing this Sunday, if those two backup tackles can't keep those guys off Mahomes, it's going to be tougher to get that ball to the cheetah because I don't care how fast he is, you still need a few seconds to let that play develop. So anyway, it'll be a great little chess match going on, and I wonder and I think if you're Kansas City, you have to do what you do, and you can't say, well, but you make adjustments on the fly. Like if those guys can't block and keep them off Mahomes, then maybe they turn to shorter routes and such. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I
think Fournette plays a big part of it. When you're playing against a team like Kansas City, score a point a minute, you got to have some semblance of a running game, right?
Uh-huh.
And Brady always had that in New England. Now, whether or not it was a big-name guy, but from the beginning when it was Corey Dillon, when they first got good, they're always committed to the run. I mean, all the way up through Sony Michel in his last Super Bowl victory. So we'll see how big of a role Leonard Fournette, or Playoff Lenny, I guess, as he's known now, will
Playoff Lenny
be able to do.
Let's take a break.
I don't know if he's going to play us out with that same dirty Led Zeppelin song, but
Doc Murphy coming
No,
up.
Jeff, actually, I have another dirty Led Zeppelin song to play us out with as we cue
dirtier
the
than
Lemon
Shake
song.
for Me, Girl, I Want to Be Your Backdoor Man.
Is that the lyric?
Yeah, sure.
I think that's a lie.
No, a whole lot of love. Yeah, I'm going to give you every inch of my love, Dan.
Robert Plant
Gonna
would never say something like that.
I'm just telling you, that's what we got here. That's what we're dealing with.
Those were the days. Caller number 1, 641-1010.
Just read the lyrics, Gay. Just read the lyrics.
Caller number 1 going to go to the Florida Theater Friday, March 12th with a pair of tickets to see classic albums live. They're doing Led Zeppelin 2. Don't miss it. Doc Murphy coming up next here on The Drill.